Shh! Shh! Shush! It's time for The Shelf. Whangarei District Libraries Radio on Beagle Radio. Oh!
Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai whakarongo mai ki The Shelf. He pūnua pāo mai ki ngā whare pukapuka I Whangarei I Beagle Radio 88.1 FM. I pāhure koutou I ngā hōtaka me o hautu ki ngā whare pukapuka I YouTube.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Shelf, a podcast for Whangarei District Libraries on Beagle Radio 88.1 FM and streaming online at beagleradio.co.nz. To catch up on episodes you may have missed, subscribe to the Whangarei Libraries YouTube channel. My name's Eddie Williams. I am what am I?
A radio show host.
A radio show host at the moment, but I'm normally sorry, the title's changed recently. I still haven't got my head around. I used to be an outreach librarian, and now it's just known as customer services.
Yeah.
So I will be serving you on the desk. If you haven't already met me, please say hello when you're there. I'm tall and thin and bald, and there's only one of me. And with me today is...
Kia ora, I'm Melani and I'm the Teen Services Librarian. That's still the same as last time I was.
Yeah, and it's been a busy time for you in
It
Teen.
has been a busy time, school holidays and everything. Yeah. So really, really busy, but I have managed to make enough time to do some reading.
Yay!
It has been quite an easy read, though. It's the manga series Dr. Stone by Riichiro Inagaki.
Dr. Stone.
Yeah, Dr. Stone. Yeah, so I've been on a bit of like a vibe, a mood lately after reading and watching Project Hail Mary, which is very science heavy and things like that. So then somebody had recommended to me Dr. Stone, which basically the premise, like starting off point is we follow this one character who's a high school student, and everything's like fine, life is going on as planned and stuff, and then suddenly the whole world is engulfed in this green light that turns all of humanity into stone.
Oh.
Right.
Yikes.
So
hence the name.
Yes, Dr. Stone. And then the main character, who for some reason has completely escaped my brain.
Not Dr. Stone?
No. Well, basically, he gets this monkey.
Google.
Yes, we can Google it.
Yeah.
And he wakes up after like 3,700 years. And
goodness.
Obviously all society, civilization as we know it has collapsed. All the buildings and everything is gone. Senku, of course.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. That's the main character's name, by the way. Senku Ishigami.
So he wakes up after, a couple of thousand years. All buildings is gone. Everything is gone. He just wakes up like in the middle of like the forest and has to try and work out what happened, where is everybody, how he's become like unpetrified. And the thing is... humanity is lucky because he happens to be hugely into science.
Right. So he's going to find the antidote?
Yes, and so he goes through the whole story of finding out how to revive everybody out of stone and then what to do after that, rebuilding civilization basically
from scratch.
From scratch. But
I think I would have left them and just enjoyed myself. Maybe woke up one or two.
Well, that's one of the antagonists in the beginning of the series. So spoiler, a few more people wake up.
Right.
Some of them by Senku's genius inventions and others due to some other interesting plot points.
Yeah.
And they basically speed run how to restart civilization.
Interesting.
And so, yeah.
So it's post-apocalyptic, but it's also giving a bit a fresh start.
Yeah, fresh start. A little bit more like, I get like the vibe like the same as Project Hail Mary is like Hope Core, like, even though it's like the world has ended, things should be really, really dire.
Yeah.
But actually it's just coming together with all of like human knowledge and human like goodwill to try and rebuild
Excellent.
things. So it's just a really, really good read. So I do recommend it.
Excellent. And you were saying it's a TV show as well, is that right?
Yes, and anime. So I've been the last episode has been released in the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. On what platform?
So I watched it on Crunchyroll.
I've never heard of it. Crunchyroll sounds like something yummy, but...
Yeah, but you should be able to find it at all your favourite manga and anime sites.
Right, you're speaking a foreign language for me. Yeah, but it's also available in real books.
In real book form at the library.
At the library.
So,
how many in the series do we know?
There is 17 volumes, I think.
Which is quite modest for some of the mangas are really massive, aren't they?
Yes, did you spot the 100 and something One Piece?
One Piece, yeah. 1 plus 1 plus 1, yeah.
Yeah, so how about you? What have you been reading?
I've been reading Yellow Flower by local author Elyse Fairley. It's her debut novel. Elyse is actually a poet, a local poet as well, which we will go into in another session. Very good poet as well. Elyse has written this book. It's a sort of historical fiction, but with a subtle, I would say, magic realism running throughout. So much the same as your Dr. Stone, it's a society beginning, basically. So it's a newspaper reporter who's got into trouble in London and has had to leave, and he comes to New Zealand and works for, which apparently was a real thing, a Maori newspaper run by the government, all in Te Reo.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a linguist, and he gets on very well with the local tribe in Auraki, and there's a talk of him marrying one of the princesses there, but spoiler alert, he's gay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he then has to escape New Zealand for fear of being found out, because this is in 1855.
Where could he go further away from New Zealand?
Exactly, he does. They his brother-in-law, who's a right vile piece of work, Henry, has heard of this island between New Zealand and South America, this unknown, undiscovered island.
Yeah.
So they get a ship all ready, and it's rumoured to have that the people there have the elixir of life, fountain of youth, so people can live there forever. But when they get there, it's completely the wrong end of the stick. They do have something with incredible properties, but it's not the elixir of life.
No mortality.
No. So it's very much a clash of cultures. There's this tribe there that were originally, they think, South American. Yeah. And they've got all their own creation myths and tikanga, we'd call it here, and their own language. So Elyse has had a great time, I think, making up this amazing language, and George, the protagonist, it's his job to work as a linguist and work with the people. Unfortunately, his brother-in-law Henry has found gold in a waterfall. Oh no! And the people, the islanders, rate it as nothing. It's just stones. It's nothing to them. Yeah. So I'm 3/4 of the way through. Yeah. And when I'm finished, I will be interviewing Elyse, and we will be featuring that on the shelf in a future episode.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And so on the subject of poets, I should say, on the 4th of July this year, a couple of weeks ago, one of our most beloved poets in New Zealand, Sam Hunt, turned 80 years old.
80, going strong.
Going strong. Happy birthday, Sam. And a group of friends that I went to high school with said, Sam turned 80 today. Do you remember when he came to our school and spoke in assembly? And so we're all messaging each other back and forth. Oh, you remember he said this, he said that, and we're all cracked up, and da-da-da. And one of our friends said, hey, who cut your hair? And Sam said, my son did it. He's 7 years old. And it looked like it. It really did. So it was amazing. This was 1984. Sam came to our school. Our English teacher had tried to get us interested in poetry before that. on the page.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't follow it. We thought, what is this? What is this?
Just couldn't get into it at all.
No, couldn't understand, couldn't follow it, just thought it was not cool. And then Sam walked in and, oh my God, poetry was suddenly everything. Yeah.
Oh.
So I've written a wee poem in honour of Sam's 80th birthday about that time, if you're happy for me to recite it.
That sounds awesome. You're hearing it here first, guys.
Yeah. And I'm going to, as a sign of respect rather than cheek, hopefully, use Sam's voice to read it. And if you know Sam's voice, it's very unique. It's called Music Minus Melody. The poet ambled through the assembled, uniformed senior teens of our school. He was clad in black stovepipes and waistcoat, with a flouncy white shirt untucked below. The powers that wear wouldn't permit Sam's dog minstrel, cloaked in his own black and white kit, to place a paw within the hallowed halls of academia. And so we had Sam as one-man band to bash out our suburban cul-de-sac ears with visceral verse. His words wound their course over nicotine-stained, alcohol-strained larynx and tongue, and exploded the mundane expectations of our vacuous generation. Sam's songs were music minus melody, poetry freed from font, words that couldn't be tamed or detained within the confines of a stave, nor bound behind the bars of a manuscript page. Thank you.
Wow, amazing. Thank you, Eddie. Oh, wow.
So a funny extra story to that is I recorded it and I sent it to Glenn, our chief librarian, manager, and he sent me one, has its own reply back, also in Sam's voice, which I didn't feel cheeky enough to play this time, but I might do next time if you're listening, Glenn. Look out. You've been recorded.
You're right, it's a very memorable voice.
It's a very memorable voice, and he performs like a rock star, basically.
Yeah.
He's grabbing the microphone, and he's tossing the stand all around, and he's tossing his hair, and he's just so in the moment, and he didn't have a scrap of paper in front of him the whole time, the whole an hour-long talk that he did with us, reciting all these amazing poems. So, so Sam Hunt, happy 80th birthday. And on the subject of Sam's, sad to hear that one of our most beloved actors, winemakers, activists and banjo players, Sam Neill, passed away this week.
Yes, that is quite sad.
Very sad. There's been a lot of aroha going out towards Sam and his family since then. I actually had an encounter with Sam in about the year 2000.
Did you?
Yeah. I was lucky enough to work at Auckland Airport.
Right.
On the front desk at a car rental company.
Oh, right, yep.
This was when Ansett Airlines was in place. Ansett, yes, an Australian company.
Oh, okay.
And Sam flew Ansett. And so one time he rented a car off us, and I was just like starstruck. Oh my God, it's Sam Neill. And he had with him some sort of guitar case. And I served him, and I said, "Oh, hello, Mr. Neill. I see you've got a guitar case there." He said, "Oh, it's a banjo."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, wow, do you play?" He said, "Oh, I'm not really. Yeah, I try, but but apparently was quite a good musician."
Yeah.
And he was a lovely man, and he was very quiet and reserved and unstar-like. He was just who he was.
Turn up,
but dressed so immaculately in this beautiful suit with his grey hair all
matching
flicked
banjo.
back. Oh, matching banjo case. Anyway, so we had a nice little chat. And my favourite Sam Neill movie would have to be Hunt for the Wilderpeople. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
So good.
It's very good.
Very good, yep. Ricky Baker, look out. Yeah, very different role for him in that film as well. Playing a crusty, grumpy old Kiwi bloke.
Yeah, I know he's always had this amazing voice.
Yes,
so
very resonant.
Lends to all his acting.
Yes,
roles.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who are going to go through all his movies
Yes.
and roles,
Yeah.
and just to, you know, I guess show respect to
Yeah.
such a great actor,
Absolutely,
great person.
and a great advocate for all things New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so also we have Sam's memoir, Did I Ever Tell You, available at the library, which came out probably last year, maybe the year before. Yeah, pretty recently, which is now going out like hotcakes from the library. So if you want it, put a hold on it. I didn't initially think I'd read it, but then, just a couple of days ago, I read some of Sam Neill's writing, and it was so good, I thought, I'm going to read this book. Anyway, what he wrote about was, he wrote a review of Split Enz' seminal 1979 album True Colours, and I'd read some of that for you now, just a little excerpt.
He did reviews as well. Wow.
Yes, I can do Sam Hunt's voice, but I'm afraid I can't do Sam Neill's, so you'll get it as me. True Colours by Sam Neill. Some records, the best ones, are time machines, portals to another place and another life. True Colours is that for me. Where was I? You might even ask, who was I? A younger man, certainly, hitting my straps in London. A new girlfriend, blonde, a new car, convertible, albeit modest, and a new album cranked to the max on the Blaupunkt. Split Enz. It was summer. For the first time in my life, I had money in the bank, I had work and friends, and I was, unbelievably, in the movies. I couldn't believe my luck. I was probably insufferable, but God, it was fun. And what a soundtrack. There was other stuff in the glove box, I don't know, Rhythmics, Joy Division, Talking Heads, Police, The Cars, fun pop and good loud, but somehow none of it meant as much or worked as well as Split Enz and this record.
Wow.
Yeah, and it goes on for about another 2 paragraphs. It's really great stuff, and both Sam Neill and Sam Hunt have a Split Enz connection. Sam Neill became friends with Neil and Tim Finn. And Sam Hunt actually recorded with them on their Enzo album, which we may have time to play a bit later. But for now, we are going to play a song, especially for the late, great Sam Neill. It's from that album that he reviewed, True Colours, and it's called Poor Boy. That was Split Enz from their 1979 classic album, True Colours. You're listening to The Shelf, a radio show for Whangarei District Libraries on Beagle Radio 88.1 FM. If you'd like to get in contact with the station manager to complain about what I've been saying, or the manner in which I've been saying it, or anything, please email info@beagleradio.co.nz. And next up, we have a very special treat for you. We were graced by the presence of a young police dog handler and her dog in the library. Did you get to see the dog?
Yes.
Whose name is Mist. Yes. Very cute, beautiful Alsatian or Shepherd. I can never tell the difference. Shepherd, probably, yeah. They came in for the Mana Wahine talks as part of Puanga Matariki. And Sergeant Elyse Lewis is a young Māori wahine who went through incredible struggles to get to where she is today and showed amazing determination. Just as a little precursor, she admits that she is not a natural talker. But once she loosens up, she is brilliant, and you are right there with her. So we're going to listen to the first half of this talk, which she talks about her childhood and her rise through the police ranks until she moves to Dunedin. Play it now. Thank you.
Kia ora, thank you Moana for having me. I'd like to say it's nice to be here, but I really dislike doing these things, but I see the benefits in them and giving back to the community. And if I can give someone, just one person, some inspiration or anything like that, or if you can take 1% away from my conversation today, that's me winning for the day. So I do it for the community. I really hate doing this. I hate being the spotlight, and I'll tell you all about that during my journey. So kia ora, ko taniwha te maunga, ko taipa te moana, ko ruru te awa, ko kauhanga te marae, Ko te pātu te hapu, ko ngā te kahu te iwi. Ko Elyse hou e tūnei, nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. I don't know whether I stand or sit. I get nervous. I'll try sitting. So I guess I'll take you back to, when I was a child. I was always into sports from an early age. My parents really encouraged me in those ways where I would be in every sport possible that I could be in. My dad was a practical guy, and he taught me a lot of things from a very, very young age. So I think that was my basis to where I am today. Also, when I was young, from the first memory that I ever had, there were dogs in our home, and I just had a natural love for them. Dad taught me how to nurture an animal, how to take care of an animal, and what they bring to you as your little best mate, and that's how he treated his animals, and I learnt that from him from a very, very young age. I think there's a photo that Mum's got somewhere where I'm asleep in the dog's bed, and I think there's 2 staffies there, and I've just crashed out with the dog. So I think I must have been about 2 years old or something like that. So yeah, from a very young age, I had a real strong love for dogs, particularly. So my journey in the police, obviously I've gone through school and I've played all the sports in the world with Erin over here. My mum and her mum will probably moan about all the money that they had to spend on our trips away.
How naughty they were.
But again, that's my basis to where I am today. It taught me dedication, it taught me discipline, it taught me a lot of things that have now transferred into my role as a dog handler, and I'm forever thankful for all those times that I was in those sports teams, and the people that I've met and the friends that I've made. Till this day I'm still friends with some of those people, so connections and that were really important. But I think the main one out of that is just determination is what I got from playing sport, and always wanting to be the best, always wanting to win as a team, or whether it was individual, it was never we're going to come second or fair play. That was just not an option. And I had friends with the same mindset, so we did pretty well in our sports teams majority. So that was a really important part that I've transferred over into the police. There's one memory that happened when I was at home. I must have been, I don't know, about 10 or 11. I was outside playing bat down with myself because I didn't have...
No friend.
I had a baby brother who did nothing. No friends at this point, nah. And this person ran through the gate, through the back property and jumped the fence and carried on. And I'm sitting there with my cricket bat and ball. And I was like, what's just happened? Didn't compute anything at 10 years old. And then about 2 minutes later, this guy wearing police uniform, holding onto a dog and a lead, just come flying through the same gate, same backyard, and he turns and looks at me and goes, where did he go? And I was like, who? And he goes, person in the black t-shirt. And I just went like that, where he jumped the fence. And I just watched this dog handler, he was a dog handler obviously, running through my backyard with the dog on his lead, and I just looked and I was just in absolute awe, because I was like, there's a job that you can work with animals out there. And straight away from that memory, I was like, that's what I want to do. Anyway, so they carried on. I never saw them again, but I always remember that memory. I don't know if I told Mum or anything, but it just happened so quickly, and I just remember holding on to that memory. And then I left school, and Mum's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I just want to play sport. Like, I don't want a job. I just want to play sport and be a bum. I want to go on the benefit and be a bum. And Mum's like...
She was a useless babysitter too.
Shut up! And Mum's like, that's not an option. Like, I'm going to get you into something. And she signed me up to People Potential, and they were running a Fitting the Bill course, which is a pre-entrance course into the police, navy, and all the forces, army. And I had no idea about the police really. At that point, I was just like an 18-year-old, like just wanting to do nothing at this point, just but play sport. Clearly that's not a career option. So she signed me up there, and this is when I started to learn about the forces. And I walked in there, and there was this poster of this dog handler again on the wall, and I was like, oh my gosh, that memory of when I was 10 years old came back, and I was like, oh, it's a real job. I did not know they had dog handlers in the police at that time. And so when I saw that poster, that's when my inspiration came into it, and I was like, that is what I want to do. And I put my mind to it, and during the course, I was terrible at maths, not so bad at English. All the physical stuff was fine for me. It was just the maths. I was just terrible at it. So I had to really put my head down and work hard to study and get my head across the maths. And I think it took probably 3 months of hard study, and then the recruiting officer came in and he said, right, who wants to sit the test, the police entrance test? And I was like, I didn't have much confidence then, and I had a couple other people that were interested in doing it, and they said, yeah, come on, just give it a go, just give it a go. You don't know until you try. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. So I went and did the test. I passed everything but the maths. I was just a little bit short. So I was like, man, I've got to go back and study again and, work on my maths. So I did it again, and I came back a second time round and absolutely smashed it, because I did what I needed to do to get better at maths. So I got into police college, went down to police college for 4 months, and then I came out of police college, got posted back to Whangarei here. And I remember coming out all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and full of inspiration, and the place is amazing. And I knew exactly what I wanted to do going in there, which was become a dog handler. So I came back, and I was, knew I had to do a bit of time working as a frontline officer. So you had to do 2 years working as a frontline officer before you could apply for any specialist role. Dog handlers is a specialist role, so I thought I'll do my 2 years and then I'm going to apply for that job. So I did that. After 2 years, there were no jobs available there. Once you're in this job, you're there until you're broken or retire. So there was no jobs at the time, and I remember talking about this to my colleagues, and from what I thought, they were a supportive bunch. Now back then, so this was back in 2006 when I joined, I was still 18. Back then, it was a very, very male-dominated police force, and most particularly here in Northland for some reason. I don't know why, but that's the way it was. So I mentioned to someone that I wanted to be a dog handler. The first response I got was, you can't do that, you're a woman. You can't do that, you're short. There's no way you're going to get over a fence, and there's no way you're going to be able to lift a dog. So don't even go there, don't even worry about it, you're not going to get a job. It's for men. So straight away I was like, all my inspiration and bright-eyed, bushy tail had just absolutely drained away, and I thought, maybe they're right. They've been in the police longer than me. Maybe they are right. Maybe I should listen to them. But there was this burning desire inside that kept knocking on that door saying, you need to do it, you need to do it. You can't ignore this. It's obviously a passion that you want to do. But when I was 18, my confidence wasn't that great at that point. So I actually did believe them, and I gave up hope. And I just didn't even mention it ever again for quite some time. So 7 years, I think, yes, 5 years passed in the police. I was still doing frontline work, and I loved it, and it was great, and I got a lot of experience and got into a lot of fights and did a lot of crazy stuff and saw a lot of crazy stuff. And my confidence built as I grew in the police, and as well as I grew up in life and turning into an adult. And then I got to a point where I was like, I'm going to revisit this, because it's still a burning desire to want to be a dog handler. I'd see them out working, I'd work alongside them, I'd assist them in their jobs, and every time I saw them I just could not stop being in awe of them or looking at them, and I couldn't keep ignoring that. So I mentioned it again, and I got told the same thing. And I thought, you know what, stuff it. I'm going to have to do it because I'm not going to know if I don't try, like I did with the pre-entrance police test. I didn't know until I tried, and I found out, so I worked on it. So I thought, I'll apply the same thing. So I went up to the dog handler and I said, hey, I'm keen on becoming a dog handler. And he goes, you're a woman. It's a man's job, Louie. Don't even go there. And I was like, can I please come out for a ride along with you? He's like, yep, you can come for a ride along, but you're not getting out the car, you're not coming with me, you can watch from a distance. And I was like, fuck. But I'd see males or men coming through doing the exact same thing as me and getting all the opportunities. Take the dog or whatever, come with me, jump on the track and you can help chase down criminals. So to me, I was like, it's clearly because I am a woman. And that's how they see it. It's a natural thing. It wasn't a personal attack at me. It was just how the police viewed things at that time, in that era. So I ended up going with him and we got talking and he kind of warmed to the idea of having a female in his car, and we got talking and it was actually a really good conversation. We got along really well and he's like, oh, I'll get you out and we'll do a training track, and, did some stuff with me. But at the end of it, he was like, Louis, this is a man's job. You're going to come up against some really, really hard times. And if you think you've got the confidence to do it, then do it. But it really is a man's job. And I was like, I'll take that on board, but I think I can do it. So I didn't tell anyone that what I was doing because I just had enough of the negativity because it just started to eat away at me now. So I thought, okay, I'll just get a little bit more experience on front line because I know I'll need that. I'll need to rely on that if I'm going into some really hard situations. Working alone as a dog handler, you need to be able to rely on yourself, have faith and confidence in yourself that you can make the right decisions and trust, obviously, the dog as well. So it's only you and the dog out there fighting crime. So I knew I had to really, really work on that experience. So I think I got to, 8 years. 8 years of frontline work, and I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to apply for a job. There's none in Whangarei, so I'm going to have to apply for jobs outside of Whangarei. So Wellington, Rotorua, Christchurch, Dunedin, there was another one somewhere. I think 2 Wellington positions. So I applied for 5 positions. I missed out on all of them, and each time I knew I got better and better at applying for them. And what's involved is a practical assessment, so a physical beasting, basically we call it, where you just get absolutely drained physically, and then you're thrown into scenarios and situations where you now have to make sound and quick decisions while you're absolutely physically drained. And that's the real test, because that's the role of the job, is that you could be tracking with a dog for 5 hours, 2 hours, 2 minutes. You could go for miles in distance. So the testing was made for the actual role. So you had to get through the practical part. That was a whole day worth of beasting, and then you did an interview. And I knew my interview, I hate talking, being the centre of attention, but I got better and better at it because I knew this is what I wanted to do. So it helped me get through the process. So by the 4th or 3rd job application I applied for, I knew in myself that I had everything that I needed to be successful in the job. And they pushed back every single time because they didn't want a female dog handler. And it was like this across New Zealand, and I was absolutely stunned. That was the way it was, and that era, it was just the norm. So I expected it because it was normal. Then I was fostering some police dogs, and I went away to one of the courses where we train and do our courses in Wellington. And I was there, I had my foster puppy, which I was just looking after and doing the training for, and then that dog would go off to a qualified dog handler. But I was allowed to go away on the course and take this dog. So I was there and I was doing some training, and this one sergeant who was from Dunedin dog section, Invercargill dog section, was there. He just happened to be there. I didn't know him. And he was sitting on the grandstand and he was watching me do some training, some obedience and things with the dog. And he looked at me and he goes, how much experience have you had doing any of this training. I was like, well, this is my first dog. I'm just, doing what I've been taught to do, or I'm just adding my own sort of ideas to it. And he's just like, you're really, really good naturally at what you're doing, and I really would love you to apply for a job in Dunedin. And I was like, really? Like, this is awesome. Like, someone's noticed me based off my skill, not my gender, and what I can do with a dog. And I thought that was the first time someone's actually seen who I am. And I will never, ever forget that experience, and I will always have so much respect for that man, because he saw me for me and not as a female. So anyway, there was a job coming up in Dunedin. I applied for it. He got hold of me and said, yep, get down here, we'll interview you, put you through your assessments, and we'll go from there. Are you prepared to move down there? I said, I've never lived there in my life, and it's too cold. I hate the cold. That's why I live in Northland. And he's like, yeah, but how much do you want the job? This could be your opportunity. And I thought about that, and I was like, yeah, but I'll be leaving my family, my friends, everything I know. And he's like, yep, so you've got some thinking to do. So went and did the assessment, went and interviewed, and I was successful. It was me and one other guy, and I managed to get ahead of him and be successful. So I got offered the position, and now I had to really weigh up, is this really, really what you want to do, to leave everything behind and go and move down there? And it was a yes from me, because home's always going to be here. I can just hop on a plane and come home and see everybody. It's not like I'm in another country. So go and do what you desire to do. So I packed up the car and I drove from here down to Dunedin. Had no house, nowhere to go, and one of the dog handlers in Inagaki said, hey, what are you doing? What's your plans? Come live with me and my family. He had a massive house, 2 wings, 3 wings or something. He goes, that's your wing over there. You can stay, you can live here until you get yourself sorted. And I was like, this guy doesn't know me from a bar of soap. That's so kind. So I moved in with them and I started my training. The first day I turned up to work was with the sergeant that employed me and noticed me. And he goes, right, I've got 2 dogs, 2 puppies for you to choose from. And he goes, the first test is you choosing the right one, because that dog that you choose will be your police dog. Off you go, puts the 2 puppies in my car, and he goes, see you later, I'll see you in about half an hour. Make sure you come back with the right answer, otherwise I'll tell you otherwise. So I went away and I was like, how do I pick a police dog? I don't know the first thing about it, I've only just fostered a couple of puppies, but I don't actually know what's involved, what I'm looking for. And he goes, you'll know. Anyway, get them out the park and I throw the ball for, the other one was called, one dog was called Cole, and he was pure black, and he was only 3 months old. Threw the ball and he chased after the ball and then picked it up, and he just turned around, looked at me and basically gave me the fingers, took off, took a piss, took a poo. I was calling him back, trying to call him back, and he was just, again, just give me the fingers everywhere he's going. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then he dropped the ball, and his motivation in that wasn't there. And I was like, okay, well, let's try the second one. And it was Mist. So this is my retired police dog, Mist. Got her out, she was 4 months old. I did the same thing for her. She went out like a bull at a gate, went and got the toy, looked at me, came straight back, dropped it at my feet, let's go again. What else can you throw it from me again? So I kept throwing it, and it was just non-stop. Her energy, her motivation, and her determination was there. And I thought about what my sergeant said, and he goes, you'll know when you see. And I was like, I've seen it, I know what dog I want. So he didn't set me up to fail, thankfully. It didn't make it a hard decision. So I went back and I said, I want Mist. And he goes, good choice. First test completed. Right, let's get into training. So we started training, and he was my trainer for a whole year. During that year, you've got to attend 3 police dog courses in Wellington. So you do your training in where you live, and then you go away to complete a course, then come back and do some more training and progress until you attend your 3rd course, and this is where you graduate as a police dog handler. So I went away, I did that, we became qualified, and now I was ready to hit the streets and start working as a dog handler. Bearing in mind, like, all I've known is the training environment. It's like going to police college. It's like a bubble down there. You never can teach the real deal about what you're about to expect. So it's the same with becoming a dog handler, qualified dog handler. This point my position was based out of Dunedin, but I was being trained in Invercargill. So I had to go back to Dunedin, and I was flatting there and set myself up there, and I started working in Dunedin. And I think one of the first jobs I went to was one of the student couch burnings in the street, and I was like, what the heck's going on here? So, and just, dealing with all the students and that was just a different way of policing down there than in what it is up here in Northland. We're a little bit heavy-handed up here in Northland, I guess, compared to down in the south. They're a lot more soft approach, and communication is key and da-da-da, whereas I'm used to just getting your hands on, and if you're playing up, we're going in, you're under arrest. There's no mucking around. You've been warned. So I went in with that mindset, and the cops just looked at me when I made my first arrest, and they were like standing back like, oh my God, who's this wild cop? This is crazy. What are you doing, Northland? And I was like, I'm just making an arrest. And they were like it wasn't a thing down there. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a hard journey. So I started work as a handler, and I got my first ever, so getting your first catch is what we call it, is catching your first criminal with the use of the dog. So relying on the dog's skills to track human scent from where the crime scene happened. If the offender has run away on foot, the dog is able to follow that line of scent for miles. So this person had committed a family violence assault, and he beat someone up and then ran away before he knew the cops were going to arrive. So I got called there, and I got the dog out, my first job, and I'm all nervous and jittery. I'm dropping the line and, just all over the place, and I'm on my own. I've got no one to go, do this, do that. Yet you should probably think about doing this. I had to work all that out on my own. So I picked up a track, and straight away we tracked for about a K, and here's this guy lying in the hedge, and dog looks at me, looks at the hedge, looks at me again, and I was like, she's trying to tell me something, and dumb human, like, pick up on what I'm saying. And I saw these little feet just sticking out of the hedge, and I was like, oh my God, I've caught him! Oh my God! And I'm celebrating, and I'm like, shit, I'm at work. Concentrate. And so I was like, oh, you, get out of there, you're under arrest. And he's just like, oh, you don't bite me. And so he came out, and he had his hands up and everything, and I was like, I didn't even care what he'd done. I was so, amazed. I was in awe of what she had done, and I'm just, kind of guiding her through. And from that point on, I was like, this is me, man. This is what I want to do. This is what I really, really want to get good at. So anyway, my career carried on, and a job came up here in Whangarei again. And so once I became operational, and this is where a lot of my my insecurities come from speaking. The police, I was the second female dog handler in New Zealand once I became qualified. So they used that as like, right, you're now our poster girl for the New Zealand police. I hated that. Again, not seeing me for me and what I'm capable of doing and what I'm capable of providing the community and the police. It was purely based off my gender and what I've achieved in terms of you're our second dog handler, female dog handler in New Zealand. And the posters, the media, it was just ridiculous for a solid year and ongoing. To this sort of day, it still kind of pops up now, but they really put me on a pedestal, and it was quite demoralizing because I wasn't being seen for what I'm actually good at doing. And so from kind of all that exposure, I don't like doing these things to be I've done this and I've done that and look how great I am, that is definitely not me, and that's how I don't want people to see me. Yes, I'm representing the police, but and it's good. It is good for the police because it can inspire other people that, you know, may come across barriers and things, and they can see that someone else has been there and done that. That's cool, but don't put people on a pedestal like that, because it just does the complete opposite thing. So it's created a little bit of trauma for me, but I'm also at the same time used to doing these as well, because I've had to do so many of them. And by the end of them, you know, people are inspired and they can break down some of those barriers that I have. So yeah, I guess that part of my career was really hard to deal with, whilst, you know, learning how to be a dog handler and do everything that I wanted to do.
And that was Sergeant Elyse Lewis from Northland Police talking about her amazing career to date, and what a courageous young woman she is.
Yes, and I just love how she's so open about the fact that it was difficult for her to not only like talk about her journey in public speaking, but also the fact that she was, you know, representing, well, the police.
Yeah.
But I think one of my actual favorite parts of that was right near the beginning, where she said she saw the dog handler go across her backyard,
chasing someone. Yeah,
that's an option, like jobs and things like that, you know, career futures.
Yeah, it was an epiphany moment, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was like,
doesn't have to be like what, you know, like in a little box. Or anything. You can work with animals. And then, I suppose from there she grew up, and it's like there's a lot of barriers, and so it was a really amazing talk.
It was, she very brave, not only in her daily life, but to get up there and do things that she's not comfortable with. And to keep going, we're hitting those brick walls of sexism over and over and over and over. And what amazed me even more so was overcoming maths, which is one of my greatest fears. Mathematics, terrible. And to actually push yourself to that extent, it shows a really real commitment, real bravery, and a real desire to get the end result. But what was really quite ironic was she achieved all that, and then suddenly the success was a problem.
Yes.
You know, they turned that against her as well, which was kind of disappointing, but she spoke very honestly and very bravely, and we will be playing the second half of that interview on our next session. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Yep, you're listening to The Shelf, a radio show for Whangarei District Libraries on Beagle Radio 88.1 FM. Now, last time we were on the show together, I was telling you about the National Flash Fiction Day 2026, and that I was the MC for at the Judge Tavern, House of Ale in Whangarei. It was a great night. It was a lot of fun. There was representatives from all across the political spectrum. We had Ken Cooper, our mayor, there. We had our former mayor, Vince Coccarello, representing New Zealand First. We had the Labour candidate, Gary Payinda, and we had the National candidate, not Len, Bud, as I said, Lloyd Budd. They all spoke very highly of the library and of the creative process. Glenn, a reduced version of Mermaid Bait, performed and got everyone singing along and howling like a dog, which was a lot of fun. And it was actually a really great night. And Northland did itself really proud. Drum roll. The adult winner in first place was Kim Martins from Kitty Kitty with her story The Other Gym, which is a great story. So she won the whole national Flash Fiction Day contest. And she read it that night, but unfortunately, as happens in live gigs, the recording didn't come out audibly. Now, as well as winning first place nationally, she also won first place for Titai Tokoro In second place was Mother's Shoes by Tania Norfolk from Wellington. And third place was Before the Earthquake by Tim Jones, also from Wellington. So little Northland, really,
punching above its weight.
Above its weight, yeah, really cool. And just the second place getter in the Northland competition was no stranger to this program. We've interviewed Deb before, Deb Jowitt, and she did a really great reading. She actually wrapped up the night with this reading, and sit back, have a listen, and be amazed.
Lessons in geology. You put on your thickest glasses, the number 3s you use for reading the Latin names of plants, and trace the Strait of Hormuz with your forefinger so it looks like an oversized missile hovering over the waterway between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, and the two separate land masses that have been moving together for millions of years, a phenomenon structural geologists get excited over, called the Arabian-Eurasian collision. And being one of the few places on Earth where you can see two continents meet, they call it a geological marvel. And just think, around 20,000 years ago, during the last ice age, the water in the Persian Gulf was so shallow you could have walked across it, and no doubt people did, as well as the giant buffalo, gazelles and oryx they hunted. But that was before the ice started melting and global sea levels began to rise. So now, colossal oil tankers can make their way through the strait and out to the open sea. But for hundreds of millions of years before the Arabian plate met the Eurasian plate, it was sitting at just below sea level, accumulating the kinds of rocks needed to form oil and gas reserves, so that when the collision finally occurred, they were trapped under its northern end, which is now beneath Iran, Iraq, and parts of Syria. And even though that didn't have any relevance for humankind until a brief geological time ago, it's becoming clear what some people will do these days to get access to those reserves, and nothing you can see with your number 3s that will stop them using the weapons they've made with the oil and gas they already have.
Thanks to Deb Jowitt for that great flash fiction story. We hope to bring you Kim's winning story. She has actually been interviewed by National Radio and about the prize, and also read her story there. So Kim did say if it doesn't come out, because we're in a noisy pub, obviously, and if it doesn't come out, she'd be more than happy to record it for us. So perhaps next show we will get Kim's double prize winning story.
Double prize winning story. Awesome.
Yeah, but congratulations to all the place getters and for everyone who entered the competition. Do keep an eye out for things like that. And on that subject, upcoming events, what's happening in the library?
Yeah, what's happening in the library? Well, tomorrow, the Thursday, the 16th of July, will be the last day of the school holiday program. So that's the children's school holiday program in the children's room at the Central Library, starting at 10 o'clock, 10 till 11. And then also the teens breakfast club will be starting at 10, going till 12. And it will be the chaos craft day. It's usually all the leftover things, and so if you missed out on one day over the past 2 weeks, then you can come and see if you can make that craft. And so it'll be a little bit of everything. Yeah,
and we've been having great numbers attending these events.
Yes.
And lots of great feedback. I was serving on the counter today, and a whole family came up and signed up library cards. Who'd been at Melani's teen and preteen program.
Yep.
thoroughly enjoyed it, raving about it.
Awesome.
And several children came up and showed me their brilliant artworks, which were sort of self-portraits that had a three-dimensional aspect where they were sucking up pasta or spaghetti in their mouth, and you could see it going down into their stomach. The pictures that they'd drawn
and there was, I think, Mrs. Cat was using yarn, wasn't she, to do make the spaghetti.
The spaghetti, yeah.
Oh, very
cool, and some very excited children after that. So tomorrow's your last chance. And also coming up, Borrow Box, which is one of the platforms that you can access with your library card and your PIN number. If you don't know how, feel free to ask us. We're hosting David Baldacci. Did you have a date for that? It was 24th of July, I think it was.
Yes.
But yes, if you're a fan of the crime and thriller author David Baldacci, which we looked up to see how to pronounce,
yes.
they're having an evening with him that you can tune into on your Borrow Box app, and that's coming up
on the 21st of July at 9 p.m. So a lovely evening, a Tuesday evening. And it's an exclusive online event for Borrow Box. So, yeah.
Get in there. Budding writers and crime fans. And with that, it's time for us to say ka kite. That's the end of our show. We might get a chance to play a little bit of Enzo with Sam Hunt. But it's goodbye from me.
Ka kite and goodbye from me.
See you at the library.
See you at the library.